This is how I did a long distance hike. I did the West Highland Way as someone with a chronic illness and a joint disorder. I have chronic pain from it. It's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and I was actually really nervous about this because I've never done a distance hike this long. I've done a ton of long day trips, like 2-day type trips, but never an 8-day hike. So I was super nervous going into it. I spent a lot of time with my physical therapist going over things and working on strengthening my core and my knees and my ankles. My knees and my ankles are where I have most of my issues, so we went through all these different exercises to kind of like strengthen these parts so that I would not be in such pain for the trip and also strengthen them. And we focused a lot on my core, which I was surprised about, but actually the core supports you a lot when you're hiking, and it takes off weight from your knees. And basically he told me to keep thinking about my core and engaging it when I'm walking, because that actually helps you to lift everything up. So one of the things that I brought with me was hiking poles, and these are essential for a long distance hike because it takes off a lot of weight from like your legs and basically adds it to your arms so that you can use your arms in addition to your legs when you're walking. And there's nothing to be embarrassed about. I was like a little embarrassed about using them at first, but it's a game changer. Like, you need them. Another thing I did was I used compression socks, and those helped a lot with keeping like the blood flowing, I guess, to the feet. The first few days I did have to take painkillers. I took like ibuprofen in the morning because I did wake up pretty sore, and I did do some elevation at nighttime. After the hike, I kept my feet up, and that seemed to help a lot. I also have very sensitive skin, so something I used for that was Moleskin to wrap up my toes in areas where I knew like certain parts of my toe would rub, like the shoe. I wrapped that in prevention. And another thing I bought is this body glide stuff, which was insane. So this is the body glide. I spent a little time every morning before I started hiking to put this on my feet. I literally like covered my feet in it. This is what it looks like. It's just like a deodorant stick, but it's like more smooth. And I covered my feet in it. I slathered them. And every day after hiking, there was no blisters. There was nothing. I was so shocked. My boyfriend was too. He came with me, and we had no issues from using this. I'm gonna link this in the notes. But here's the Moleskin as well. And with this, you just like cut it up and put it wherever there's like rubbing on your feet. If you have any knee or joint pains, I highly recommend working with a physical therapist to help you get to a good place before you go on any long distance hike if you have like a condition, and also doing some strengthening exercises before you go, whether it's like walking with weights on your back or just doing some training to do more endurance. Definitely try doing some endurance type things and just focusing on each muscle group, because it really helps so much when you're doing this long distance stuff. I also recommend getting an inflatable mat for sleeping on, because that really helped raise you off the ground. It's also good for like insulating you and keeping you warm. So definitely look into those. They have a lot of good lightweight ones. It's way better than just sleeping on the ground. That would be crazy. Another thing I noticed is I need to take breaks whenever I feel like I need to take a break. I just need to take a break. If something's bothering me and I decide to push through it, it gets much worse instead of just resting it for a minute. If I need to take a rest, I will just rest, because I know that it can get way worse if I push through pain. But when I do take a rest, sometimes it just goes away and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. But if something's really bothering you, listen to your body and just stop. Like, you don't have to prove anything to anyone but yourself. You know your body the best, and always just play it safe and listen to your body. That's my biggest takeaway, honestly.